Are you from software background and you don't know anything about web technology and microservices? Then definitely you are missing something. So in this video, I'm going to talk about tools and technology which are being involved in web technology and microservices. So let's see those tools. So this is the brain map of various tools and technologies being used as part of the web and microservices engineering. So let's start with the web technologies. So as part of web technologies, you need to master some fundamental concept. So as part of the fundamental concept, you need to understand some basics of the internet, like what is DNS server, what is domain name, how to host the website. So these are the most common concept when you develop your website and you want to host it. Apart from that, there is a client server architecture, HTTP, HTTPS, and SSL protocol. Apart from that, you need to understand various file formats like XML, JSON, BSON, YAML. You need to understand some security frameworks. So when I talk about security, mainly I included two components here only, that is authentication and authorization. So when we talk about authentication, it is all about cookie-based authentication, OAuth, basic auth, token auth, JWT, JSON Web Token, OpenID, SAML. So try to understand this basic concept about security and its authentication. Cookies and session, again, very important part of your web technology. Securities. So when I talk about securities, means something which is related with XSS, CORS, CSP. So what is XSS? So XSS is an attack in which an attacker injects malicious executable script into the code of trusted application or website. So in order to avoid such kind of attack, how to handle those, so you need to master the security concept as well. Caching and compression, these are again very important things when you want to enhance the performance of your website. So client side caching and compression, server side we have Redis and Memcache, these technologies. Apart from that, we have content delivery network. So how to leverage this content delivery network to get optimized performance from your deployed website. So when you are using web technology, you will be using some encryption and to transfer that data over the network, right? So that's where these hashing algorithms also plays very important role. So we have MD5, SHA, and there are many more other algorithms being used as part of your security protocol. Apart from that, you need to understand event-driven programming. So when you click somewhere on your web page, so according to that, you need to take some action. So that event-driven programming is also important concept as part of your web application development. Apart from that, there are various object model like DOM and BOM. So data object model, browser object model. So what is that and where it is being used? So try to explore it. Then apart from that, we have a JAX as a popular concept and tool, which is extensively used while developing your web application. Then domain name and web hosting, already we talked about it, right? So these are those concepts. Let's see what is next part. So it is about hosting server. So once you develop your web application, right? So you will deploy that web application on some web server or application server, right? So we have Tomcat, Apache, HTTP server, Nginx. So if you are from Microsoft background, you will have IIS, that is Internet Information Service, JT, JBoss, Glassfish, WebLogic, which is from Oracle, WebSphere from IBM, NetWeaver from SAP. So as per your respective work of area and on which technology stack and provider you are working, you need to master that web hosting server. Coming to the backend script. So as part of the backend script, we have various programming languages. So let's take the example of Python here. In Python, again, if you see, there are lots of framework like Flask and Django, but out of many framework, these two are very popular as part of microservices also. So I just mentioned two, but there are others also. Java, if you really want to master Java, Then you need to understand Hibernate, and Hibernate is again ORM framework, object relationship model. So when you try to integrate your program with the backend system like RDBMS, that's where ORM plays very important role. Then EJB, Servlet, Applet, JSP, these are the some technologies you need to know as part of Java web development. PHP is again very popular tool when it comes to the web development. ASP, when you work on Microsoft technology, that's where C# comes into the picture, and as part of the C#, you have ASP.NET as a technology, and that's where we have MVC, Razor pages, Razor components, middleware, filter attribute, app setting, and config. These are the things we need to take care as part of development and setting few things, app setting and config. So that is something which is related with ASP.NET. Apart from that, it has some ORM framework also when you try to integrate with database. That's where entity framework, which is very popular. But apart from that, we have a Dapper, RepoDB, and Hibernate. These are the things. There are logging framework also. In case of C#, we have nlog and serilog as a logging framework. Dependency ingestion, we have Scooter and DI containers. So when you try to refer different libraries, that's where this dependency ingestion framework comes into the picture. And Ruby is again popular web programming language. So that is all about backend programming, server-side scripting. Let's see what is there as part of the front-end scripting or front-end programming. So we have HTML and CSS, but HTML5 is again very popular. JavaScript by default, the most popular programming language in the world. And again, it has various framework like React, Angular, Node.js, Vue.js. So try to master that respective programming language. If you are working in Microsoft technology, that's where TypeScript is very popular. And there is one site, this site, that's where they have given again a very good picture of your front end path and what things you need to learn. But whatever I'm saying, telling you, that is also sufficient. And you really want to go that one level depth. So this diagram is again very helpful. Coming to the next part, as part of your microservices and web development technologies, that is RDBMS. So by default, you need to master at least one database and SQL programming language. So when I talk about databases, it's all about Oracle, MySQL, MS SQL. So learn that one SQL product. And apart from that, you need to understand JDBC, ODBC driver and their configuration. And you may need to learn according to your application NoSQL programming language like MongoDB. So that is about databases. But suppose you are developing some static sites and static pages. So that's where some other tools and technologies are also there, like Eleventy, and these are the tools and technology available for developing your static pages. I'll not go too much depth here. After static pages, you may need to learn something which is related with GraphQL, and that's where Apollo and Relay Modern are popular tools and technology. When it comes to the logging, what I have seen in Java world and even other places, SL4j and Log4j are popular APIs, and you can use it and develop your logging framework. So that's all about your web technologies and mastering the respective component as part of your web development. Let's see what is there as a web designing. So in web designing, there are various frameworks, but out of that, Spring Web MVC is very popular. You need to master the web security and design patterns. So in my software development engineering, I have given more detail about design patterns, so you can refer that video as well. And as part of day-to-day build and deployment activity, I have given some common tools here. But again, as a DevOps tool stack, we have many tools there, and I have included more details as part of the DevOps career path. But here I have mentioned some basic tools and technology when you do the development on Java technology. So configuration management tools, Git and Maven are very popular. Repository management tools, we have JFrog, Sonatype, Nexus, NPN, and Helix Core, version control. These are the things. So suppose you want to do some deployment, so that's where Jenkins is very popular, and Docker is also gaining momentum, where you can quickly deploy and test various things on various operating system and various technology. So that's where Dockerization is also very important to know as part of your website or web development technologies. So microservices, when you want to master microservices, again, you need to learn one programming language, but it is not just about that programming language, but respective framework also you need to master. So in case of Java, we have a Spring Boot framework, which is very popular. But when it comes to the Python, we have more framework, but out of that, Flask and Django is very, very famous. In C#, we have web services, SOAP protocol that is used for development of microservices. When it comes to the microservices, there are various type of microservices, the way these services being communicated with each other. So we have REST API. On top of REST API, you can have a Swagger UI, and it's very easy to test those things. You can give input and you can quickly test the output. So that is possible using Swagger UI. We have a JSON API, SOAP API, gRPS, and GraphQL as part of communication framework in case of microservices. When it comes to the testing, after developing your website, you need to test it, right? Again, as part of the test automation career path, I have included many testing tools, but here I'm mentioning just keywords, unit testing, and Selenium is again very popular tool when it comes to the UI testing. So I included that tool also. But as part of the test automation, I have included lots of tools and technology. So that's where you will get the depth of test automation. So these are the tools and technology you need to master as part of your microservices and web development technologies. But apart from that, nowadays everything is being migrated on the cloud platform, and cloud has also its component when it comes to the deployment and development of your websites and applications and microservices. So we will talk more about it as a part of respective cloud environment. So this was entire umbrella of website technologies or web development and microservices. So please put in comment section which front-end programming language you want to master, which back-end programming language you want to master, which microservices framework you are planning to use as part of your learning in microservices, and which RDBMS database you are willing to learn and go into the depth. So please put all these technologies as part of your comment in the comment section. Thank you for listening.